I'm Aaron Gold for Auto by Tel, and today we are driving the Mazda 5, the Fightin' 5. Mazda's minivan. It is the shape of a conventional minivan, but it's actually about the size of a Honda Civic. I was going to demonstrate this for you, but I seem to have left my Civic in my other pants. Because it's smaller than a conventional minivan, it's a lot more fuel efficient, it's got a small 157 horsepower four-cylinder engine, and is a lot less expensive. You can pay up to 40 grand or more for a fully equipped Odyssey or Sienna. The Mazda 5 starts about $21,000, tops out well under $27,000. Very flexible, but not for everybody, as we're going to see when we look at the interior. Inside the Mazda 5 is old school Mazda, for better or for worse. The better is that you have a nice, straightforward control layout, you have excellent visibility all around. The worse is that you have this hard black plastic on the dashboard. Now, those of you who are car fans are going, is that a stick shift minivan? Why, yes. Yes, it is. In fact, the Mazda 5 is the only minivan you can buy in this country with a manual transmission. The bad news is you can only get it in the sport model, and that means doing without satellite radio, Bluetooth, or a backup camera. And of course, if you accidentally reverse over your own children, that sort of defeats the purpose of having a minivan. Let's take a look in the back. First thing you'll notice, sliding doors, one of the best features of any minivan. You don't have to worry about your kids slamming a door into the car next to you in a crowded parking lot. We got two buckets here, hidden storage underneath. Look at this little center console that flips out. They can put their Game Boys and other stuff, or whatever the kids are playing these days, in here. Now, the disadvantage of this two bucket layout is that if you have a single kid, of course, the safest place for them is right in the middle of the car. You can't do that with two buckets, but if you have two children, this is perfect. And of course, you have a third row seat, which is not bad. You got these little Star Wars, Clone Wars headrests here. It's fairly comfortable. You can stick the kids back here, put the in-laws in the middle row, and you are good to go. But there is a problem with this layout, and it's in the back. I'll show you. The problem with the Mazda 5 is that if you have all 6 seats in place, you have almost no cargo room, as I can demonstrate with my handy-dandy grocery bag. You see, room for a few groceries, and that's about it. However, if you fold down one seat, you have enough room for a stroller. Fold down 2 seats, and you have almost 45 cubic feet of space. The problem is now you are down to a 4-seater as opposed to an SUV or even a compact car, which would give you 5 seats. Kind of limits your flexibility a bit. Now, your average conventional 7-seat minivan drives a bit like a transit bus. And I would know because I actually owned a transit bus. It was kind of a phase that I was going through. But the Mazda 5 drives like a car. It's small, it's nimble, it's light, it's very easy to park, and I think that's a really great advantage. You know, Mazda does that whole zoom thing in their advertising, and that's not just marketing hype. They really are a cut above most cars in terms of driver involvement. And I think that makes you safer as well. You know, minivans statistically are the safest vehicles on the road. They say that has more to do with the way that they're driven than anything inherent in the vehicles. But you know, if you have the option to swerve or to brake sharply, which you can't do in a bigger van, that gives you more options, that makes you safer. But what I really like is, and I'm going to make up a word for this, the minivanishness of the Mazda 5, okay? I'll tell you a little story. Years and years ago, I worked for a car magazine in England, and we tried a little experiment. We took a family of 7, and we set them out in a 7-seat Volvo wagon, a 7-seat Nissan SUV, and a 7-seat minivan, a little thing called a Renault Espace, which they don't sell here. And we asked them which they liked better. And when they came back from driving all 3, they said the one they liked the best was the minivan. Not because of the way it drove. Actually, they said that the way it drove was pretty terrible. But they said in the SUV and in the wagon, everybody was quiet, everybody was kind of isolated in their own little rows. But they said in the minivan, it was like being in a family room. They were all together, they were talking about what they were doing. It gave them a real sense of community. And on a family trip, that's important. I have kids, okay, and my kids' idea of a good road trip is hitting like level 67 on, you know, midnight ice cream ninjas or whatever they're playing on their PlayStations. Anything that gets the whole family together, gets them involved, I think makes for a good family experience. And that's what makes the Mazda 5 really special and, in my opinion, a cut above SUVs as a family car. Now, clearly the Mazda 5 isn't for everybody. It does give up some flexibility compared to a conventional van or a 7-seat SUV. But I think if you have a small family, it's a nice alternative. It's less expensive, it's more fuel efficient, it's a lot better to drive. And it has really no direct competitors. There's really nothing quite like this. If you're just using 2 rows, the Toyota Prius V kind of comes close. The Fiat 500L is a nice upright conventional family car, but really nothing really blends minivan space, minivan community, community feel in a car-size package. And the truth is, if I was shopping for a car, I would seriously consider one of these. I'm Aaron Gold for Auto by Tel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.